Alright, in the previous step, we learned how we can enable and disable an object or several objects at runtime by C# Unity. Okay, now we want to learn how we can move an object and rotate an object at runtime by C#. For example, let's remove this sphere, we don't need it now, and let's remove part L1. Okay, we have this cube. Okay, we have three angles, y, z, and x. Okay, we want to move this object one. Let me put it 0, 0, 0. Now we can understand it better with this angle. Okay, now we want to say, okay, dear cube, go forward 1 unit, something like this. Go forward another 1 unit. Go forward another 1 unit, and go continue this way for eternity. Okay, or move up one item, and also 1 unit minus go down. So we will say these parameters, position, rotation, scale, they are transform of object. Okay, so whenever we want to move them, and except when we want to move an object with physics or rigid body or add force, so we will use transform and changing transform parameters, position and rotation. Okay, let's go to the part 12 script. Let's make for example, public float speed. Okay, sorry, movement speed, right? And put it equal 1. Okay, and let's save this script and come back to the Unity and add this script to the cube. Part 12, it is here. Part 12, movement speed. Okay, now remember, it's supposed to be inside void update. Okay, in the void update we will say transform dot, we want to move, so we will use translate. Okay, and with this structure, remember, you should observe this structure. Without that, it won't work. Inside these parentheses, you need to add that direction you want to move. Okay, for example, we want to go forward, so it's supposed to be, it has 3 parameters. It is vector 3, and x, y, z. Okay, instead of z, because we want to going forward, we will add movement speed for z parameter and save and go back to the Unity. Now look at this. Woo! Goes for eternity. Look at the parameter. Okay. Because we have used this function inside the void update, and void update works despite the frame rate and also rendering capacity. In fact, the translate of this line is, okay, move my object in the direction of z parameter 1 unit per frame. For example, if the FPS of game is 60, it means 60 times per second it moves my object in the direction of z with 1 unit difference, 1 unit velocity. Okay, so if you move and change it to 0.1, it moves 0.1 unit time unit 60 times per second, and it will be slower. Look at this. And if I want to do it faster, it will be faster because it moves 10 units, per every time we want to, when this line repeats. It means 60 times 10 units per second, okay? If the FPS is equal 60. If FPS is more than 60, it is faster, but the problem is here. If the FPS is less than 60, it won't goes with that speed we have expected. Okay, so for prevent this happen, we will say our movement speed has to be times time dot delta time. With this formula, we will move our object this byte per second, not per frame. It means it will run 1 time per second, but it will be consistent and more controlled by our performance. So look at this. Because I put it number 1 here, it says every 1 second 1 unit move forward. And if I change it at runtime, it goes faster or slower. Or even if I write -2, it returns, because it in fact the minus or positive plus is for setting the direction of that angle. Okay, so let's make something cool. We will say, okay, whenever we input dot get key, not get key down, just get key. For it means whenever we hold this button, which button? Key code dot W. Whenever we hold, press and hold W button, let's go forward with this speed. Okay. By default, it doesn't work because I didn't hold button W, and now I'm holding button W. I release it, it stops. I push and hold, it moves. Excellent. Okay. Now I will say thank you, dear F. Let's make another one for S. And because S for backward, forward and backward, both of them are at the same angle but in a different direction. So I need to add just a simple minus for here before movement speed inside the Z parameter. And now look at this. Excuse me. I press W, I press S. At the same time, it moves in both directions. If I change the speed, it's changed the speed for both of them. 10. Excellent. Now I will say, okay, let's duplicate here for button D, for example. D is for going right, and if you take a look at one, the right parameter, it means X, and right, it means positive X, and left is minus X, negative X, okay? We will say, okay, dear friend, just remove this one and add 0, 0 here. because in the vector tree we have x, y, z. Okay, and now we'll put our parameter here for button D, and also exactly the same one but in a different direction for button A. Come back to the Unity. Okay, press W, let me move it 10, W, S, D, A. And even I can move them at the same time. Excellent. Right, now we can even add E and Q for Y parameter as well, for go up and down. Okay, it is for going up and Q for going down, but in a different direction. Now look at this. Okay, sorry. W, S, D, D, A, E, Q. Look at this. It is excellent. Okay, we move, but we want to do rotation as well. Rotating as well, sorry. It is the same, but with the different keys. Let me separate them by adding these characters. Okay. Input dot get key key code dot right arrow. Okay, the right, left, up and down arrows of the keyboard. It doesn't matter if it is in a computer or your laptop. Okay, we have the same mechanism exactly like here, but in a different format. Transform dot rotate here. It has the same vector tree as well, 0, 0, 0. Okay, because we want to rotate in right direction. Let me show you how we can understand where is the right and left here. Look at this. It is 0, 0, 0. Okay, we want to and it is our forward. We want to rotate this object, and this object looked at this side. Look at this. It is turned right. Okay, which parameter changed? Y parameter. Okay, I want to look at left. It is the Y parameter as well, but in a negative direction. Okay, now we will say movement.speed for Y, and for the left one, left arrow, add a minus behind the movement speed. Okay, look at this. Let me add a 10. It rotates, and let me do something like this. It rotates with left, and it is right, it is left, and also it moves as well. Remember, whenever you rotate your object, your forward will be different as well. For example, right now, if I press W, it goes in this way. Look at this. And if I S, A, D, for E and Q, it doesn't matter. But for and WASD, it depends on where is our Z parameter, blue parameter, angle, sorry. If I rotate it at this way and press W, it moves it this way. Look at this, and D and A, remember. Okay, now let's duplicate these parts for go up. So open up arrow. Okay. Look at this. We want to take a look at up. Okay. Look at this. The X parameter rotates in a minus way, in a negative way. So minus X is up, positive X is down. Okay. So we will say, we will put here as a minus X, and also duplicate this part. Oh, sorry. Okay. Duplicate this part with down arrow, but in a positive way. Now look at this. Let me just set it to 20. Up with up arrow, and down with down arrow, and also if I press W, it moves this way. A, D. Look at this. Let me put it, for example, 100 to do it faster. Excellent. Okay, remember, we already used just movement speed for every parameter. Even we can define a specific variable and velocity for intensity, for each angle. For example, movement speed in up, for example, I don't know, movement speed in sides, it can be used for D and A, and it can be 0.5, okay? And also movement speed for I don't know, up, down, and it can be 0.75 for E and Q. And also you can say public, public float, rotation speed equal, for example, 50, and put it for these guys. And now let's come back to the Unity. Now you can control your character and your object with different parameter for each direction and each function. For moving forward and backward, it is 1. For sides, it is 0.5. For E and Q, it is faster than in sides. And for rotation, it is 50. Okay, excellent. We can use this mechanism for making a movement system for our object without using physics. But remember, it depends on your scenario. Do you want to have a realistic movement for your car, for your object, for your airplane, helicopter, or character? It's better to use a rigid body and add force. I will talk about this subject later on. But if you want to just move an object without considering realistic gravity, so it is a good solution for doing that. Okay, let's go to the next step.